All right, I'm Kyle, and this is the Movie Spreadsheet, where I review movies based off of 4 simple criteria. Don't worry about me spoiling the movie. I won't until after I reveal the overall score and the ranking on my movie spreadsheet. So, it's been a couple weeks. As you can tell, my beard has grown out a little bit. Looks amazing, I know. I've gone back to teaching. So one of the courses that I teach this year is called History Through Film, in which we essentially replace textbooks with movies and discuss how accurate what we saw in the movie was. And I try to pull in a bunch of stuff that's accurate and inaccurate. And the reason why I'm telling you this is one of the first movies we watch is called Out of Darkness. And that's the movie that we're reviewing today, or I'm reviewing today, right here, right now, with a new mic, which I'm pumped for. So Out of Darkness 2022, it's on Paramount. The premise of this movie is you have a group of people, it's a long time ago, I think that the tagline is like 43,000 BC. So it is a very old movie, and it surrounds or takes place around a group of Homo sapiens who are trying to survive in what looks to be a new land. Now I'm gonna just continue this, I'm gonna continue the review of the movie, no cuts. Continuing, here we go. I gotta say, this is the second time that I've watched it, and my rating increased from the first time, and I'll explain why in the spoiler section after it. So I would say you can watch this movie the first time, and then if you want to watch it again, anyways, just watch the spoiler section. I'll tell you more about why the rating changed. Anyways, so first category, entertainment, 7 out of 10. It's entertaining. It is refreshing to watch movies that are original. This movie is original, right? There's not many movies that are taking place in 43,000 BCE that are trying to be, I guess, somewhat realistic in terms of at least the first group of people that you see. Okay, so entertainment, 7 out of 10. Achievement. So what is the goal? What is the goal of this movie? This movie is trying to be scary. This movie is scary. And I think the first time I watched it, I rated it a little bit lower. The second time I watched it, I don't know, I must have had the room darker, whatever. It's definitely scary. It's worthy of that 7 out of 10 for achievement and goal. Ending, this was the biggest gap between my first watch and my second watch, but ending is an 8 out of 10. I think it does a really good job wrapping it all up and sort of leaving the story for what I hope would be maybe a sequel, potentially, but obviously a couple years later we haven't seen it, any kind of sequel, so it's going to end there. It's good though. And then finally, length. It's an hour and 27 minutes. This is exactly the sweet spot of where I think movies should be. Horror movie especially. 9 out of 10 for length. Again, 1 hour 27 minutes minus the 6 minutes of credits makes it an hour 21 overall. Perfect. So once again, length 9. So add all those scores up. Entertainment, 7 out of 10. Achievement, 7 out of 10. Ending, 8 out of 10. Length, 9 out of 10. Brings you to an overall score of 7.3 out of 10, making it tied for number 117 on this list. Closing thoughts. IMDb giving it a 5.5 is a little too low for me. Rotten Tomatoes, 86%. I think that's going to be closer to where it is. I think in general, this is a solid movie to watch, especially if you like this notion of prehistory and you kind of want to see some really cool uses of light and sound. So that's it. That's my review, spoiler free. I'm purposely stalling here, trying to give you a few more seconds before I ruin it. And now let's ruin it. So here's what I'm going to say to do. Or here's what I did watching this movie. So I watched it the first time and I kind of just let it sit. I think overall, the first time I rated it, it was like a 6.7. And then before I showed it to my class, I rewatched it and I did a bunch of research on it. The director, the writer spent so much time on this movie trying to make it, I don't want to say historically accurate, but make it more accurate than some other movies that take place roughly around the same time, specifically referencing like early human history, early prehistory, like movies like 10,000 BC, where the woolly mammoths built the pyramids. This movie gives a lot of nods to historical things, like the human necklace that they find. That's realistic. Like we have something similar to that. The pit of bones they've found, the way that they bury the bodies, the worship in the bodies. And if you just even read about interactions between Neanderthal and Homo sapiens, like this is very similar to what it could have been like, especially with the time period being 43,000 BCE. We know Neanderthal are reaching the kind of the end of their we'll call it reign at roughly around 40,000 BCE. So we're going to have a lot more interactions between Homo sapiens and these Neanderthals. If you're a history buff or you just generally like this topic, it's going to lead you in a lot more interesting areas of research. So I started Googling stuff like, how strong were Neanderthals? How does Neanderthal strength compare to that of early Homo sapiens, compared to that of us modern humans? It's fantastic. Again, the use of light in this movie was great. I just thought it was so cool to see so many nods to history, and the fact that they made the bad guy just Neanderthal. They made it essentially another competing group of people, and then the way they tied it all in at the end with Heron's story about how she was trying to save him and she took him in and fed him even though they were all starving and dying, and how they looked at Ave or Ava's body, whatever her name is, and how they essentially like place it in this like kind of this worship area with the hand paintings. Just awesome. And then to see the cruelty at the very end of Bea coming in and just smashing the woman over the head as she could have saved her. Just phenomenal. I thought ending was so good. That's why I got that 8. So definitely check it out. It's an easy access because it's on Paramount. I hope you like this, and stay tuned for another one coming sooner than 2 weeks, hopefully. Thanks.